You're listening to Vince and Matt on the Montreal Marketeers podcast. Welcome to another episode of Montreal Marketeers, and we're here at the lab while they're setting up for their atelier event in about a few hours. And we're here with the owner, Gabrielle, to talk about how the lab started and about their second shop and where the goals are in the near future. Before we start talking with Gabrielle, I just want to point out I love the lab. Matt, I know I've spoken to you about this place many times. It's one of the few places that I'm able to come in and just, instead of ordering a cocktail, a drink, I just describe what I'd like to taste that day. So the first time I came here, I asked, I want to taste something gummy bearish, like gummy bears candy. And the woman at the desk was, no problem. The bartender made it right away. Phenomenal. Now, if you're lucky enough to sit at the bar, they also have a ton of straws on the side. And that's how you get to taste different cocktails. So as they're making the various cocktails, and Gabrielle's laughing right now, as they're making the 20, 30 cocktails, because there is usually a lineup at the bar, you get a chance to taste. So if you see that a seat's not available, but you're able to sit at the bar, highly recommend sitting at the bar. So Gabrielle?
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about you, how you got into this industry.
So my name is Gabrielle. I'm 27 years old. I will be 28 in a month. It's going to make about 8 years that I'm a partner in the group. The first bar opened about 10 years ago. Not 9 years ago-ish, if you want to.
And just for the little people that don't know, where did the first location open?
So the first location opened on the plateau in Montreal by my partner, which is Fabien Maillard. So he created a bar that he wished he could do just what he wanted, because it wasn't there in Montreal. There was no place with enough creativity that was going on over here, and I arrived about 2 years after he opened first. He was starting to get a little bit people. Mm-hmm. It's never easy to open a bar when you have no name, and the first location is really like a little bit apart of the big street on the plateau. And so he was struggling a little bit. And
it's a hidden gem, that one. You have to kind of know about it a bit. Yeah. It's got that red door.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no one who get into the lab, the first lab, and they don't know, because we look like a crack house from the outside. Seriously.
From the outside. Once you get in.
Yeah, when you get in, people are usually surprised. But it's happened often that I was sitting in front and like smoking a cigarette, and people was passing in front, and like they are just like, oh, what is that place? Like, so like, old and dirty bar, but rundown. Yeah. So yes, when you're getting to the lab one, you know where you're going. You know that you're gonna discover stuff, and that you're gonna taste new things.
Well, I find it interesting that you said it's not because Prasad thought there was a need in the market, but he really said, I want to do this. I know it's unique.
For himself, yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting, because you see that a lot when you go there, that it's you guys are doing you. You're not trying to imitate or be someone else. You really are going after your own environment.
We are all passionate about what we do. This is the biggest common point with all our staff, between Fab and I. It's why it's working. It's why the partnership works. It's because we are so passionate about flavors, about people, about quality, and we work because we love it. We don't work because we need it. So this is really different.
It's not a job at that point.
No, it's not a job. No, if it was a job, I had no life.
Yeah. Well, your flavors are even made. A lot of them are made in house. I see there's no brands on the bottles. You guys make everything, even your own vermouth that we're drinking right now.
Yeah,
so it's really neat. It's really cool.
Thank you. So yeah, we try to make as much as we can. We cannot do everything. We don't have a agave plant here. I cannot do tequila, unfortunately. But
although if you could, I'm sure it'd be very good.
Yes. Yeah, it's awesome. Do that. But we try to do everything homemade. Like all the syrup, we have the product company. We are all over Canada, a little bit in Italy. We have a shop in Australia and a few in the US. So we have bitters and syrup in the market. We've been first bartenders in Canada to launch syrup in the market. Is it easy? No. Is it now easy? No. But we love how we product. It's 100% natural, so we never change the recipes because we put it on the market and then what we do. So we start to do it for ourselves first, and we just realized that people was loving it. So we were just like, hey, let's start it, let's start to sell it. And you get two bartenders into like a big sale company that you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
We're still here.
It's not easy to sell, especially the vermouth and.
It's easy for us to create.
Yeah.
It's not easy to sell, but yeah, and we just put it on the market. Then we're now a little bit all over, and yeah. Sorry, we're messing up things, but yeah. So I arrived 8 years ago, and Fab and I get along together pretty well, and so we opened together an event company, which is today Proxy Bar. We do about 350 to 400 events a year.
Okay.
About 5 to 10 by week, if you want to.
And what type of client are you looking for the events? Big corporations or even
small? We do like today that the one that we're setting up. I don't know exactly how many they are, but they might be 6, 8 people, and we do until 3,000, 5,000 people.
Wow.
So it's really depends on the event. We do a lot of corporate. We do a lot of private. We're starting wedding as well, and but we do only bar service. So we do it. We do the bar great, so I don't want to like go into catering or like organization in general of the event. This is not how we are specialized.
Because kind of like Vince, you were saying before, it's not just about the drink. You also have a certain je ne sais quoi environment that you have when you get served by Le Lab. It's not just about having a nice drink, but there's also see the mix.
It's not a bartender. Like people say, oh, I love the bartenders there. There's no bartenders here. I see them as mixologists.
Yeah.
Like their lab is a lab without the coats and just having drinks mixed in there. Like you guys are testing on a day-to-day basis. I know that a lot of your mixologists, and I'll use mixologists versus bartenders, go to competitions.
We are lab tender.
That's it. Lab tenders. I love it.
We are lab tender. So yeah, this is how we call ourselves. We train a lot of people too in Montreal. I think that we bring a lot of stuff in the cocktail scene in Quebec. We are fortunately one of the only bar to be known outside of our country.
You guys are innovating, so
yes, we just work crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
We get that a lot too, by the way. So we don't take it as an insult at all.
you gotta go against the norm.
Yeah, you have to think outside the box, and you have to do what it's like. And if you follow all rules are made to be broken. So it's just that we do.
So tell us a bit. So how did you get your passion for cocktails, for starting a place like Le Lab, and not going, let's say, in a restaurant business or going something different?
So I always work in hospitalities. I never did anything else. I have the only school that I have is DAP in kitchen, in cooking. So I passed about 6-7 years in cooking. I started working in restaurant when I was 14, and I traveled a lot. I went about 2 years long. I worked in Italy, and after I left for about 1.5 years in Australia. And did all the coast, and it's in Australia that I started to work in the cocktail industry a little bit by coincidence. When you travel, you just take the job that you need, and I was flying to Sydney, and I met a girl in the plane, and she said that she knew a chef, that he could hire me, and it was in a hotel, and finally they hired me as a waitress, because they needed a waitress at that moment, and because I did every post that you can find in a
tried
restaurant.
every position.
Exactly. So and in the same hotel there was one of the best cocktail bar in Australia, which is called Eau de Vie.
Okay.
And so I was always ending up my shift over there. It's kind of a high bar, really beautiful. And there's just one night the bartenders over there was setting up a competition, and then we just started to work on this drink with flavors, and I was sitting there alone in the bar, and I went in trouble. I came back, got back to the hotel, and they got a waitress position open at the Eau de Vie, and I apply, and they take me right away, and they start training me as bartenders, and I got fucked up by my immigration agent. She stole me $10,000, and I had 2 weeks to leave the country.
Oh no.
So, because I had really, really good relation over there, I started working in another restaurant, but I had to go back in cooking because it was the only school that I have for papers, for the immigration papers. And so we opened a restaurant. I went back in the kitchen, and I hated it. And I didn't want to do it anymore. So I remember that I was working crazy hours, and at one point I just left the restaurant. I called my father. I was like, lend me money. I'm coming back home. This is not working. And I was like, I'm gonna go back home. I'm gonna like make experience in what I like in cocktails, and I'm gonna come back. Okay. And this is what I did.
Very cool.
So I arrived here, and I went to the lab, and I put my knees down to Fab to hire me, that I will be the best employees ever, because there was no cocktail bar in the city 8 years ago, except for the distillery, maybe, and a few bartenders who was starting a little bit, but it was really, really unknown. And I just started working there as a waitress, and they trained me at the bar, and Fab and I fall in love, personally and professionally. We are not together anymore, but we are still partners, and we're still growing up together in what we love.
Very cool.
So we opened a proxy bar, the event company, and after the proxy bar, we opened the syrup, and we.
What's the syrup company called? What is it?
It's called the Secret du Comptoir, but we call it just Lab Project.
Okay.
It's just how people defined it at the end. And sorry, it's the ice who's coming up.
No, that's good.
At least you know what actually comes into organizing an event, right?
Exactly.
And they're saying up the bar right now. And I have a facilities to. I think this is one of my biggest force.
Yep.
I kind of read people really easy, and I have and I love people, and I'm really good to get like the force of the people to make us grow. Yeah. So we build an amazing team with the years, and I have an amazing lawyer who's called Serena. Okay. And she's not having a baby. Oh. But whatever. She's my friend too, and she's with us since 6-7 years. Okay. And so when we started the project company, she was like, she's such a woman too, and she was like, oh, you need to register your brand, because when you have a project on the market, you don't want to get copies, so you need to register your brand. Do you really need to do this? No. Seriously? No, not really. Like, it's a lot of fee, and it's cost thousands of dollars. But well, we did it. Yeah. And it's really great, because after that, we have the brand, and we build an amazing reputation. We work really hard, but we started Vermouth. Yeah. We met the winery. So Val Codali, we met them by coincidence, and I was just like, hey, let's do a Vermouth. And it was like, okay. So we just did it, and we bottled 1,200 bottles the first in August 2015, and we were laughing because we were like, oh, we're gonna finish this, like drink it ourselves, you know. Yeah. And 2 months later, we ran out of stock. We went in Ricardo for best gift ship for Christmas and stuff. So we've been producing by emergency for about a year, and we bottled 6,000 bottles in the beginning of this year. We get an ACQ, and we are launching the dry one right now.
Well, I know for myself, this is my first time trying it. We're gonna have to go on Maisonneuve after to go pick up. I don't think we really have a choice right now.
We always wanted to open a second location. Fab and I are both chefs at the beginning of our career. At the beginning of our career, we are both chefs, so it's always been really important to us to have a kitchen. It was a big miss for us at the first bar. We work with a lot of restaurants for food pairing, cocktails and stuff. So we find the second location on St. Catherine, a little bit bigger than what we were thinking, but we are in a university. It's really well situated. The rent is not bad, and so we're like, okay, it's big, but like, let's do the biggest cocktail bar ever. Because I saw big bars, there's huge bars, but big bars who's doing only cocktails, didn't see that a lot
Okay.
Yeah.
in my.
So how, I'm curious now, because are you taking a similar approach to cocktails to food now, in the sense of, you mentioned pairing, so pairing certain drinks with certain foods, but also being creative with the type of foods that you provide, your menu, and the way that, I guess, the food is prepared?
We include a lot of booze and syrup and bitters in the food.
Okay.
We have a new chef
Okay.
right now, and he's not educated about spirit and booze, so this is my part of job. So it's teamwork to give him some education about this, because it's difficult for him to.
And even as a consumer, because when I think about pairing, you go to wine, right?
Yeah,
wine
exactly.
pairing of food.
You
So
go to wine directly.
do you find when you're serving food and you're pushing that you can pair your cocktail with your food, is it a lot of education on a consumer standpoint?
Yeah, a lot, and it's not for everyone, because I think, sorry for the sommelier, that booze have way they have a lot of molecular flavors, way more than wine sometimes. And so it's even more complex, and it gives you even more possibilities to the pairing for the food. But it's also a shitload of flavor.
Yeah, and you
So
can
if
mix. And
so if it's too much, you can do it. You cannot have 5 meals with 5 drinks. It's too much flavor, So you have to get one meal, with a good cocktail, and maybe a dessert cocktail. So we do liquid banana split and stuff like this. And you start with a different cocktail and an entry, but you cannot do a 5-service cocktail pairing, you can do with the wine.
Yeah.
It's too much. So often we balance it with beers or wine. You do a service beer, service cocktail, a beer service.
Yeah. So you're not trying to force the mix or force the pairing.
No,
if
you
it
have
works,
to-
it works, and
You can pair everything. You can pair every meal with cocktail. This is no problems at all. But you just cannot.
as an overall experience, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, it makes sense, because if you're adding a liquor to your meal as well, and you're sipping, I mean, you gotta, it has to flow. It has to drive together. So I can imagine it'd be difficult.
It drives together, but you have tons of flavor in your drinks. You have tons of flavor in your plate. So this is a lot. So if you do this 5 times,
Yeah,
it's you don't appreciate it anymore. It's too different. And wine is more not similar, but
Yeah.
it's
So if you're having wine, will you have red wine with fish, or not?
no.
You believe in the white wine with fish? By necessity,
I wouldn't say that I know enough
Okay.
about that. If someone's telling me, "Hey, try this red wine with fish, it's really good," I will be totally open
Okay.
to try it.
Then
But as my small
Go-to.
knowledge about wine,
Yeah.
for me, it's wine.
So you personally would be open to it. So do you take the same approach with cocktails? Is there this cocktail has to go with this dish, or it really depends on who's eating?
It
Or
really
who's-
depends on who's eating. Everyone tastes different. Of course, there's a base, that there's
The
a base
majority
taste,
of-
the majority, and I will balance my cocktail with my plate and stuff. But you might taste it different than I tasted, but it's still a good pairing.
Okay.
I think, yeah. But
Because it seems to me that you guys have a lot of flexibility.
yeah,
Kind of like Vince's example before. He wanted a particular taste, not necessarily paired with food, but as a drink. And from what you say, Vince, you completely it was delivered. It was
I've tried many times. I've said, the time I came here, I wanted something that was a little sweet and tasted a bit like lychee martini. But I didn't want exactly a full-out lychee martini.
Yeah.
So they said, I think I have something for you, right? And since you make your own bitters as well, you know your product better than anyone else would. So it ends up being a really interesting flavor mix that we get. Also, I've tried and I don't remember what it's called, but it has it's a clothes hanger. It is a bourbon.
it's the jerky lab jack.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
got-
with the dry meat. Yeah, we're pretty well known with this. We do our homemade barbecue bitters that it's in
Yes.
sale actually, and we do it with Jack Daniels and Cointreau and brown sugars and dry meat, and we're doing this cocktail for ages. And
Yeah,
it's just so good.
the lab tender that's in front of you specifically tells you also how to drink it. He or she says, by the way, if you want the full experience, you should sip, take a little bite, put it back in the clothes hanger, sip, take. And I say clothes hanger because obviously you can't see it on the podcast, but if you guys order that, you'll see there's a mini clothes hanger that comes with it, and your drink is under the piece of meat that's on the clothes hanger.
And we build it ourselves.
You put that on yourself? Oh, that's so cool. It looks so retro. I love it.
Yeah, we did.
I remember him telling me this, and from a marketing perspective, he was so excited telling me the story that it's like, and you hear that, you're like, Le Lab, right? And it's kind of like, I'm assuming you guys worked off a lot of word of mouth. Your location, from you were saying before, the storefront of it, kind of hidden. You would never think that the outside matched the inside. But it's cool how, you get people that love cocktails and go to your spot and they're like, I gotta share this with everybody. Because Vince, when you told me that story, you called me, I go to bed very early, 11 o'clock. Matt, you awake? No, I gotta tell you about this. And you're going on and on and on.
I'm very much, if I like something, all my friends will know about it verbally more than anything, more than on the Facebook side. Okay. And it's just like I'll call Matt up for a new restaurant, a new not even a new restaurant, a new menu that I saw at the same restaurant we usually go to. So that to me was so cool. It was, you could have easily given me the same drink with a piece of meat on the side, right, or on a stick, on a skewer, and it might have had the same taste, the same flavor, but the presentation of that would have been totally different, right? It's the experience of, and not only that, I'm ordering this drink, and I can tell you, there's 5 other people now, all of a sudden, that I don't know, that are tapping my shoulder and saying, oh, what did you get? Because the menu is extensive, so what was that? Right? So it's so cool to see that, and it's almost, you're marketing your drink in front of everyone who's trying to order a drink, so why not do it that way? I think it's amazing.
But we have the mentality that, a bar is a show, and we are the actor, and you are the spectator. So we have to impress you, and you have to get out of the bar with a feeling that you laugh, or you get surprised, or you get emotion. Yeah. So it's really important emotion for us, and our drink as well. It's why sometimes we're more classic in our mix, because rosemary, we have a little the mentality that we call the miam mentality. So there's the rosemary and chocolate, which is really interesting flavor together. But you won't crave at night for rosemary and chocolate. But you're gonna crave for banana and Nutella.
Yeah.
So we want people to crave about our cocktail. So yes, so Jerky Lab Jack, it's it's barbecue-ish, it's smoky, it's all flavors that here are really popular, with wood fires and stuff.
And it's an intense flavor.
It's really intense flavor, but it's still diluted. So even people who are not used to drink strong spirit can drink it. And the meat is just really surprising because people are not used to have meat in the drink, and the, how did you call it in English?
The clothes hanger.
The clothes hanger, and the clothes hanger is just funny. It's just
it's
cool.
Quirky. It's quirky. It's cool.
So all together you get this, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening in my drinks? So, and it's about 50% of the appreciation of the drink, and more, it's good. So.
And the jerky is being cooked in front of you. Let's not add that there's a little mini torch going on behind the scenes.
But we flame the orange and
they flame the orange, and then there's depending what's going on, because there's more than one labtender there, so he's making another drink that he's throwing bottles and lighting stuff on fire. Really cool. So I want to touch on, now that you have a bigger location, and you have 2 locations now, do you find managing people, because you are a people person and we see that here, do you find managing people always a challenge as you bring on new employees? How do you
the size of it, the increased size of it,
the double the employees?
It's kindergarten.
It is. That's what it is. They start from scratch.
Start from scratch. My team is such an amazing team. Because we're all passionate about what we do, we're all crazy about it. They all believe in us, and I believe in them, which is really important. And I find it easier to manage a bigger team than a small one, because I have more people to do more stuff. Because when you are a small team, everyone's doing everything. So it's all a little bit crazy, often disorganized, and even I have to do, I have to be at the bar until 5 o'clock in the morning and wake up at 9 to do submission for the event company and go do syrup. like on the other stuff.
Yeah.
I used to produce the syrup before I had been able to pay someone to do it. And I find it easier to have a bigger team. I have more resources. I have when I pay a formation for them, you know, we have 20 staff full time
For both locations?
with us. With the event company and stuff,
Okay.
and we have 20 people full time. We work with a lot of other people as well for the event company. And no, I find it easy because you have more people to do more stuff. All the tasks are more separate. It's more precise, and we have more budget as well. So we can join marketing teams, deal. And even it's just more fun too, because you have more people, more idea, more energy, more personalities, more problem too, of course. But this is part of the game.
Yep.
You know,
I'm just curious, if someone's wanting to work at Le Lab, what do you prefer? Is it someone that's already worked at a bar? Because I would assume that might be a bit of a challenge, because their mentality today is like, I'll make rum and coke, I'll make vodka sevens, and that's about it. Or do you prefer someone that has no bar experience and kind of molding them to a lab tender versus having a foundation of a bartender?
Yeah.
I choose the person first for the person, for not what he did, but so how he did it. Because we are really precise and we need consistency, and it's really hard to work at the bar because psychologically it's hard because a customer asks a lot of questions about services, and the work is like with all the details and the prep and stuff, you always have to be really wake up.
Yep.
So it's not easy psychologically to work here. So I choose strong people.
And now you mentioned at the same time, you don't want someone that's, even if you had a bad day, you don't want to see that when you go to a bar. You don't want to see the bartender like frowning. You have to pretend or play the role that you're.
Yes, sure. You have to be happy for your customer. Your customer has to make you happy. So you go get your energy and the customer's energy, you know. Mm-hmm. So yes, sometimes I have like awesome bartender who's coming and he been working all over the world and crazy mixology and stuff, but you know he just doesn't have the flame or he doesn't want to give all his energy into work, or he don't believe in us, or he's always like knowing like customer C, customer that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So usually I get rid of it. And I prefer to have. Sometimes I prefer to take someone from the beginning and train them, but he always have energy and positively and like he know how to think and how to create and want to learn and ask questions and get in with a smile and so.
And I assume the most passionate people. I'll give you an example of when I first found out about Noma, the restaurant, and now people from around the world wanted to go work there. And it really was, they wanted to learn in that environment. Do you start seeing that with the people that come see you, that they really like, forget about pay, forget about hours, like they believe in what you're doing and they want to learn from you because they believe in the experience you're promoting. Do you see that now, that you've become bigger and bigger?
Even with one bar we started, we had a lot of bartenders who arrived often from France and came straight out to us or write to us from France, and they were like, I want to come work at the lab and stuff. And
that's really cool.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, but we're not a school. So, and this is really being really difficult for us because there's a lot of people who, how do I say this in English, who take advantage of our knowledge. So they come here, they say yeah, they work 6 months, they learn, they get out, and they're gone. And because they work at the lab 3 months, 6 months, they put this on the resume, and like they get hired manager, whatever, and I'm like, you are insulting my name because for me you're not being trained.
You're not ready yet. The quality's not there.
The quality is not there. You're too young. Like you need, like it's because people now I think that they want everything right now. They want like learn fast. They don't get involved. They don't have enough.
They're not patient enough.
Yeah, exactly. So it's too fast. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, I know how to pour. So I'm fine. Yeah. Like, okay, I can do drinks and I can mix flavor, but like I don't know how to work, and if I get a rush, I get angry and like,
Yeah.
You know, like being a mixologist is not about how the flavor you create. It's about the way you work and how you make feel and how the customer feel after you serve them. So there's a tons of good mixologists in Quebec, but there's not a lot of good bartenders. So and you have to be bartenders before being a mixologist. And there's a lot of people who jump step.
Wow.
Yeah.
So very good way to look at it.
So sometimes. Yes, I'm happy when I get this. Of course, it's always, make us feel good.
That's why I was asking, but I didn't see it from that side.
We're happy about
point
it,
of view.
but I don't hire everyone who's coming. And often they are in travel as well. So, when you're in travel,
They're gonna leave it. Right?
they're gonna leave. And I always look long time.
Yeah.
So I like when I have a team who stays. There's some people that's been working with us for 10 years. So it's really important for me.
Where I'm just curious because I mentioned before, and you were laughing at the beginning when I said the straws at the bar.
Yeah.
And sampling. Where did that idea? Because it's something so small.
Yeah.
And so simple. Like when I saw it, I was like, but I don't know why every bar is not doing this. Like it just makes
drinks?
to taste drinks before you embark on the one. And so where did that idea come from?
Because when you are in kitchen, you taste your plate before sending it to the customer. You taste your sauce. We do the same. We do the same. It's just every cocktail is one preparation, so we have to taste it all. But the chef, when he's doing his potato puree or his soup or whatever, he's tasting it. So why we don't do it? So and we're not perfect. You can do mistakes. You can forget an ingredient. You can pour a little bit too much lemon.
Yeah.
If your count is not good. So we need to taste, and we have fun too to tasting it.
Yeah. I'm just a pretty good
We enjoy
perk.
it. It's the taxes that we take.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain about it.
Well, I was making it and made a really good one. I'd be tasting it a few times. I just have to make sure it's the right touch.
Exactly. And sometimes when people sit in front of us and we get, a good energy with the customer, well, we make them taste the cocktail because there's so many.
Yeah.
So, and we love to make people discover new flavors. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I like to go out, I'm an appetizer guy because I want to see how many different flavors can I taste and not be full. You know what I mean? Like it's really that because I'm not like I see something. I remember the last thing that really impressed me was burrata with anchovies. Now, this is hard for me because my wife doesn't like anchovies, but I saw it. I'm like, I gotta taste this. And I think it was 2 years ago. I remember sitting at the table. I remember looking at it and I remember tasting it and saying, "Oh my God, this is the best thing on the planet." And I feel like the more you can actually taste, the more you're likely to get this experience. I've never had a drink I'll order a drink I've never heard of. If I don't like it, I'm still happy that I tried it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel it's a lot of the people that have that mentality are for you guys like the customers that are like, they'll come back. They want to try everything. You know what I mean?
I know, and sometimes I taste so many stuff that sometimes I'm just like, I don't know if it's me who's like tasting too much thing or if it's really weird or not good. Sometimes you're like, is it not good or it's just weird or like you don't understand what is in your mouth and what is happening.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, it's just interesting.
Exactly. It's never, to me, there's never a bad drink.
No.
It's just I haven't had this before and now I know what it tastes like. Mm-hmm. And then I remember the Negroni, my favorite drink. I remember the first time tasting, I'm like, what is this? Too strong. It doesn't make any sense. Now that's all I drink. Like literally, I need to start every meal with a Negroni or else I'm not happy. And then I'll try the other things. So I feel like if I never put my foot forward to try this type of stuff, I would have not discovered something that I like so much.
Mm-hmm. And the palate after is something that
develops.
That you develop and that you can work on it. So when I started at the lab, I didn't like gin. And I love gin now. I drink everything. So you work on it. So people who say, we don't like bitters, flavors or stuff, I'm like, taste every day, just a touch of gin on your lips, and one day you're gonna start to like it. Like, and you're not gonna see it coming.
Yeah, I like to talk about on gin. There's a company, or Nicolas Duvernois, I'm sure you've heard of it, for the gin and now the gin and the vodka. Mm-hmm. Did you take any inspiration from him when you were working on your vermouth and said, hey, we can do this. We can, from Quebec, sell an alcohol that's going to be popular around the world or that can go in the market?
No.
You really, on your own?
Seriously, I never planned any of that.
It's really...
I never planned having 5 companies, and I never planned having a trademark and things just happen,
So
and we just did it, and as the best as we could do it, and we cry, and every week sometimes, not now because now it's starting,
Yeah.
we're growing up, but during 5 years every week I was crying and I want to be like, I'm finishing, fuck that,
Yeah.
I don't want to do it anymore.
But you still pushed.
But I still push, and the other day you wake up and it's amazing, and
Yeah.
know. But no, I never planned any of this. I don't have school. I'm not a big reader. I don't listen like entrepreneur podcasts. I do sometimes. Yes,
Yeah.
of course I do. But no, I take knowledge from the people who's around me.
Yeah. You seem to have a lot of
So-
passion too. I think that's the.
But like when we start, like now I can write like legal contract and stuff because I've been working so much with my amazing lawyer, and I learned so much from her that now I have,
Yeah.
I know where I'm going and how to negotiate and stuff. I observe a lot how the people do, and I like to visit. Like I'm a real person. I like to see things and to smell and to touch and to understand, and I analyze a lot and yeah, so I visit a lot of industry and I ask a lot of questions too. So it's a little bit how I get inspired. It's not on the net or it's I observe people. I want to understand how they see things and why I don't see it like this.
Yeah.
Because everyone have a different perception, but mine is not better than anyone. So and there's always a reason. So no, Nicolas Duvernois did something really amazing in Quebec to launch a premium vodka from here, a little bit like Grey Goose did for the US. You start from nothing. Manuel Abedusari, we work with his project, which I enjoy a lot. They're really good. But no, I just understand how difficult it was for everyone who started from scratch. And sometimes I just want to hug them in my arm, and I'm like, I understand. Like, now you're good. Like, it's going to be good.
Yeah. It's easy to see a success, but there's a lot that came.
Yeah,
before
Facebook
that.
and all those social media don't always show. They show the good stuff.
Yeah.
They don't
The
show
hardships.
Yeah, they don't like show me, when I'm not wake up like in my coffee and I'm like, shit, I have to go work like again 16 hours today for the like 13 days in a row.
Yeah.
But I still happy and I do it, But yeah, people don't see that.
So we always like to end our podcasts with a quickie question, let's say.
Okay.
So try to make it thematic. If there was one drink that you would have to have for the rest of your life, you have no choice, only one drink.
It have to be a cocktail?
Whatever it is.
Anything.
What would it be?
You're stuck on an island and you can only bring this one drink with you.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the one.
called the Behind the Bar. It's a cocktail that we do here. It's not on this menu, actually. It's a cocktail who represents a lot to me. Emotionally talking, we create this drink, and my partner and I. And I always find funny because we always say, we call it Behind the Bar because you never know what's happened behind the bar. From a customer perspective. And it's about Scotch. I love Scotch. It's a Scotch with some kirsch, which is a cherry distilla, with some ginger, with some cardamom bitters, and a maple syrup. And it's strong. It's served on crushed ice. It's strong. It's flavorful. It's smoky. It's fruity. I could drink tons of it.
Well, now we know what we have to have next time you come here.
Yeah.
I'll have
have a
behind the
choice.
bar.
Yes.
When I come behind the bar, no, I will have the drink behind the bar.
And I think that this is one of our creations that I would drink forever.
Very cool, perfect. Well, let the audience know where they can reach the lab, and also where they can find your spirits, in case they want to.
Yes.
Or maybe
So,
for an event as well.
Yeah, exactly. Your Instagram account, social media.
Okay, so of course www.barthelab.com, which is represent our two bars. Usually if you just go on this website, you're gonna get to the event website and to the project website as well. And if you write to the email over there, you're gonna join me. I receive tons of emails. The vermouth are in ACQ, but I definitely invite people to go directly to the winery in Danam, which is close to Bremont. The guys are amazing. It's small winery. It's beautiful. Or to come try it at the lab if you're not sure to like it. Come try it at the bar first. We're happy to make people taste about and talk about it. And the product, the bitter and the syrup are a little bit everywhere in Montreal or in Quebec in small grocery stores. You can buy it online too on our product website that you can go via barthelab.com. And yeah, but I always say come sit at the bar and have a chat with us and come see and come discover and see what you like and make us feel good about that.
Perfect.
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Thanks for talking about lab tenders. We hope you liked this week's episode. And if you'd like to reach out to us or just want to simply check out our previous episodes, visit our website, Montreal Marketeers, that's with 2 E's.com. You can also download our weekly episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Waiting for the bottle to come. I heard the Lord say, battle has just begun. I heard my daddy say, life isn't worth the fight. And we hear Molly say, everything will be alright. I'll tell you my life story. Singing on Sunday morning, but I played the jukebox pretty late the night before. I talk a good game by the way you need to live, but I'll probably end up with a picket fence and a couple of kids. Now I'm telling my life story. Go ahead and cry, it'll feel so good.